Working on a backdrop we created before tone map it, and right here our image as PSD, and right here is our tone map. You can see how much more texture and details we have it between of them. However, I like sky and some clearness a little bit of these images. What we're going to do is combine them. So I'm going to select all of this, copy, and we'll paste over in our Photoshop layer. Creating mask or PSD file, sorry, right here, PSD, and we're creating mask on our HDRI level. And I'm going to select the brush. Okay, we'll set 10% black, so it's increased opacity. And now I can start painting in some of those areas where I want to apply a little bit more. So we can go like around right here, maybe. Just add maybe a little bit. I don't like this too dark kind of sky, so I want original sky from right here, from this kind of look. And same, add a little bit more on the mountains. Okay, so we kind of can start painting a little bit. Remember this right here we have this small thing, so we can remove some effect. Again, can jump back and forward. I do like a little bit sky, so I maybe pop up to 30% opacity to make it faster going. Okay, we can remove it. Top probably will be white for our text if we're going to create poster, and this will be darker. So I'm going kind of maybe even back her up right here, removing. Our models will stay right around here, and I want a little bit more high, kind of smoother behind him. Okay, you can see we kind of start adding details. Of course, you can also always play with a little bit more opacity and see how much. I think right around there we can start adding a little bit more, blending together. So the next part I want to do is add some little bit fog and smoke to these areas. Before do this, let's go take our model and we'll go drag and drop on the position. So at this point I can see where do I want to place this model. So I probably want to place it somewhere around like right there. Remember horizon line, about right place. And he look a little bit too big, and if we put it on the side, it does not look right. So in this place we can play with the scaling because he's a smart object. As say, we have it quite a bit. We can rescale him without losing too much of the resolution. I think right here will be a good place. And real about this size. So we can also place it. I'm just comparing with the rails. And normally if you put a rail on a hand, it should be go about this size to the hand. So it's what I'm doing. I'm kind of comparing him overall, how he will look. I think this will look maybe about right. Around right here, I think this is about right size. Notice he does not match our tones or anything, and this is fine. We'll start working on this. The first step to add him kind of first tonal matching, we'll go in and add curves. We'll link these curves to our model and we'll set curves to the luminosity. Mostly it's because our shadows. So we'll take a lower level and bring a little bit up. You notice right here we can work with the contrast a little bit better with him. So even with the just simple curves adjusting, we already can bring him in. And mostly what we want to do is matching shadows with the darker areas. Also, it's still floating because we don't have any shadows applied to this area, but we'll work on them in a second. Right here, it's a very basic right now adjustment to this. So right now we have a model. I can say, okay, where we want to place some of those shadows. This front one normally will place text here, so this is need to be very dark and going black. So let's do this way. We'll add one more layer, make sure 50% gray, and let's this to soft light. We'll have it brush, black color, darker, and I can start adding just slightly right here darker areas, so kind of give me a regional feel where I want to have it darker and lighter. So I want to just add a little bit more to this front. And next things we'll go to add also multiplication to this with a color, so we'll add a little bit more darker, but for now this is give me just a little bit kind of more perspective that way. Okay, let's work on the shadows on our model, and we'll look right here on the feet. Okay, we'll take this model, we can kind of readjust, I think around there will be okay. And this feet like almost overhanging, so we'll need to work on the shadows. I'll go create a layer, we'll go below, let's go call this short shadows. And reason is why short shadows, this is very close to his feet, it's what we're going to create. I'm going to create Alt and select right here the shadow color. We'll go set to multiply mode with short decreasing, and we'll just go start painting right around his feet. Okay. Don't worry if it's too dark, that is fine, we'll fix this in a second, but this is very short and usually those shadows very hard. We also can just slightly add maybe somewhere like right here. Okay, the very short shadows, dark. The next one, let's create a little bit wider shadows. So we'll go create new layer. So wide shadows. Same things, we'll just increase, and overall right here I want to increase size and just overall create this darker shadows like from him almost standing. So right around there, so we can maybe a little bit around. Okay, notice he's still not yet fit properly, and the reason why, because his shoes does not reflect the back shadows. So for this one actually we need to create layer above him, be sure it's a link, and we'll call this casting or radiosity shadow. So those shadows is cast from lighting or back, and right now because he was on white floor they're all white. So for this one again we'll be sure we have a shadow color, and we'll link to him, we'll set this to multiply mode, and kind of start painting over, and you can see we're painting over his shoes, so we casting those shadows on his shoes. Okay, we can go right here, and in this case we can even take a little bit of reddish kind of color, so cast matching with where he's standing. Nice things about multiply, it's not just create darker, it's also have this color casting, so it's much more working together this way. Again, I want to cast a little bit on his clothes and zoom out. You can see right here we have it nicer already, kind of start matching together. We can come closer, and sometimes what you notice right here we have a little bit leftovers from the masking. So on the main model, let's create a mask. We can take brush, be sure it's a black color. Let's reset it. We'll go down, way down. We can set to the 0, and even with soft brush you can kind of go and can touch up some of those. The reason why I have it soft brush, I want to have it introduce somewhat anti-aliasing to this. In many cases maybe you even want set by 1 and go just like slightly add. So it's introducing some of the semi-transparency to this, to the edge. So we start kind of going with those colors. Same like, for example, right here you can see we have it. If we set to 1, we can just slightly touch up and it start blending, see, with colors. So now we start kind of blending almost this together, everything. There also other point to this, we can what I like to do is create new layer, dodge burn edges. Okay, we'll go soft light 50% and start to write those edges, make them darker with the black. So it will also bring, but again, mostly I'm just working to make sure this edges is darker, just right here. Kind of bring them more down. Again, jump back, remove some of those white, a little bit of the masking. We can go and fix this mask because it was done with a vector, just readjusting, but many times this is faster and easy retouching. Okay, there behind him will be white smoke, so we're okay. Mostly we just worried only about feet at this point. Okay, we'll go back here. 1 again, we'll just add a little bit more darker to his feet. Just create right here. So overall, we're just adding those extra shadows. Let's go zoom back. And you can see right now he already start, at least not floating, kind of touching. We do need to add a little bit more shadows on the ground, and we'll do this by creating right about this layer. We're going to create new layer. We'll go this to the tonal shadows, and we'll go use it masking for this, multiplying, sorry. We'll have it brush just black. Let's increase size of our brush. Okay, and we'll go to just right here, 10% opacity, and I'm just going slightly painting this darker, kind of almost bring him in. Remember, this area, actually this all area need to be dark and black, so we can put it white text over for the poster. So this is what we want to do. So dark right here. Okay, we'll go his feet. Remember, right, we have it. I'm adjusting this one. Okay, we have it renders to shadows. So same, we'll go take color, just painting a little bit over his shoes so they will match. Darkness kind of effect. Right here we have a problem with our curve, so in this case we can go also in a curve and slightly masking out some of that effect from the curves. So right here a little bit properly shadowed, so you can see it's almost blending together now, and this is what we want to do. We still have details there, but now he kind of more standing in. So let's go behind this subject. We have it just short shadows, and we'll go add other smoke. So let's go work on these details. We'll start adding in our next tutorial.